Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, darling.
Hi, Artie.
I don't think Darren can join us. I'll call him because he has to meet his former landlord
Yes.
at his old house
Okay.
to tie up the details. And what about our friend Lisette?
I thought she was there. Hold on, she's coming. She just sent me a text that, are you going to send an invitation? So she's out there and ready.
Okay, good. Well, this was easy. I'm not sure what I did, but thank you.
You're welcome. I sent the invitation. I'll always be the one to send the invitation, because if we all try to send an invitation.
Yeah, no. It's you. Just be responsible for our meetings. Totally great. I think what we can do with Darren is just send him the link to our voice. Hi, Lizette.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Great.
Okay. So anyway, let's see. First order of business is congratulations, Lisa. You are on a roll. So we sent in our first proposal, got approved right away.
Awesome.
And I think they really liked the weight of your background, because academics. They just like all that paper stuff.
Okay, good.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
and that's just wonderful. And then Lizette, if you would send me your resume.
Okay.
Do you have a resume?
It's been a while since I've had a current resume.
Lisa can just help you slam one together. Don't worry about it. You know, it's not a big deal. But I mean, let's just get it done. It's just kind of the OWL stuff. So what I do on my quadrants is I write that urgent and important, which is our meeting, and because it has a deadline and a specific date. And then the other thing over is not urgent, but important. And that's always the planning part of what we're doing.
Look at my screen, Artie.
Well, yeah, good job. Good job.
Right. So
Okay.
everything's saying I'll type in.
Perfect. And see, that's good. And then the not urgent plan, but the plan important is what we're doing going forward in January with promotion. And Darren, I think, is working on connecting with the people that sell the
Teacher lists.
that sell the teacher lists. So that's a matter of us really kind of carefully segmenting what we want, which would be teacher names, personal emails, cell phones, and then the school district they're working in. And then also, hi Darren, are you there?
No, I'm driving.
Okay, well, I'm just going to leave you on the phone. Is that okay? And then what we'll do is Lisa will record the meeting, and then she can send a link and you can just listen to it and kind of get caught up.
Okay.
Isn't that perfect?
Yeah.
I know. I love technology. It's great if I know how to use it. Okay, so all we've talked about is just the fact that we got our first proposal approved, and Lisa and Lizette are really great academic weight in terms of our instructor base. And we're just sticking with it. That's our story, right?
Yep.
So anyway, so I just feel like we keep it tight and mean, and just the four of us at this point. Of course, I can go out and, yeah, that's business cards ought to be over on urgent and not urgent, but important.
Not urgent. Oh, that's what I meant. Okay.
Yeah.
Not
Okay.
urgent, but important.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Because urgent and not important are interruptions, people calling you, emergencies, fires. Well, actually, fires are up under urgent and important. But this is the time waster section.
Going to
The
the
people that are constantly asking for your time, and you just begin going to the bathroom. You're so funny.
No, it's urgent.
That's under urgent. Listen, that's under urgent and important. My God.
Well, we can hold it a little bit.
No, that goes up under urgent and important. Like, you just have to go.
Yeah, well,
okay.
Something.
Like Mateo. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So my grandchildren are here sleeping. I'm not sure how long they will, but we'll try and make this meeting kind of as brief as possible and just get to the urgent and important stuff. So anyway, then Lisa, I sent in your second proposal, and when I looked over that, I went, wow, this is not a 1 credit course. So I just changed the 30 hours and the 1 credit to 3 credits.
Yeah, I saw that, and I was glad, because I'm like, that's a lot of stuff for 1 unit.
Yeah, that's right. You don't want to give yourself away. And then that's more money for you. And so Lizette, so what I'm doing with the work made for hire that works with contracts is each credit hour that you write and gets approved and uploaded is $1,000. So if you write a 3 credit course on literacy, you can plan to have $1,500 up front as soon as the proposal's approved, and then then the other $1,500 as soon as the course is completed and upbuilt. And then Lisa's paid a different amount for building the courses. And at this point, are you okay with being the one responsible person for that, Lisa?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I think we just have one course builder, because once you get really unless in the future we decide, to separate some tasks, but since you know the technology, it's easier for you to just begin and hammer it out, and it'll get easier and easier. And you can kind of see what Carla has done by reviewing the old courses, and then just find out if there are features that you need help with, then we need to ask the Educatium platform to help us access those.
I do have a question, though, and you answered it partially, but I still have some confusion, and I know that Lisette's going to want to know this, too. And that is, I think that my experience in the past with teaching online, it's been a different format than these courses. These courses are more that are already there, are very automated. They're self-directed, and I've always been like 3 days a week, just back and forth discussing. And then like when I put in the final project is a 10-page paper. Am I correcting that, or should I avoid projects like that?
No, avoid projects that are too instructor intensive for you. What you can do is build the quizzes, but yes, to get a 510 number, we do need an assignment. And if you would go into the technology toolkit course, you'll see the assignment there is basically answering 3 questions.
Okay.
And that way, if we direct the assignment for us getting feedback on what's really working, you know, build the questions around the actual course so you get feedback. And yes, I always responded to those assignments as they came in.
Okay.
Now Darren is doing it, so
We're not getting paid each term as teachers, are we?
pardon me?
We're not going to be being paid every term that they offer that class as instructors.
No, you're going to be paid by the work made for hire. So there's a flat fee on the per credit, and then there's a flat fee with you for being the course builder. Now, outside of that, in January, depending on what we do with involving, Lizette would be paid separately for calling, $1 a call, and then 10% on people that actually register on the CT fee. We never involve ourselves with a PSU fee because that's a split fee and they collect their own money.
Okay.
So don't worry about that today, Lizette. We'll just, because Darren, did you get a hold of the system?
No, I left her 2 messages and sent her another email. I haven't.
Okay. All right. So this next week, Darren, stay on that on Monday, and then let's try and hammer that out. Because what's going to be important are getting teacher names, personal emails, personal cell phone numbers, and school districts, and also the grade they're teaching. So we can differentiate segments for K through 4, you know, for middle school and for high school. And then I think in the future, what Lisa and Lizette and I figure out is how we approach those segments. And what I'm hoping is that Lisa and Lizette can build on our website one of the many forms of approaching people that are either in the course or just our general population. Like Alex Mendoza, and the reason I send you these emails, don't worry about you having to follow through and watch everything. I just want you to kind of see what comes through my email system. And they have very different marketing approaches. But I think if what we can do is associate our courses with a really not only personalized tailoring for the students, but also for the teachers. Because that's what we all want. We want our own. Yeah, I mean, that's the horrible thing about the election. All those uneducated white males have not been heard, feel ignored. And of course, part of it is the change of technology. But because they're uneducated, they really bought into his Kool-Aid. So, you know, that being said, we just deal with what it is and go forward. So I think the henchmen that he's planning to put on his cabinet are just a nightmare. But I think this protest in Portland is ridiculous.
Yes, it's not constructive. Do you guys know about the safety pin? I just learned.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I have it on my.
Now what is that?
Okay, the safety pin. If you're wearing a safety pin, you're saying to people like gay people, refugees, Muslim people, all the people that are scared to death because of the election results, the safety pin means they're safe with you. You stand with them, you're supportive of them. They see that safety pin, it means they're safe with you.
Hi, Mateo. Hi, Diego.
Guys,
How are you boys?
buenos dias.
Yeah, Diego's getting ready to go to basketball.
Are you going to play basketball today?
Yeah. I think
Yeah, Mateo
Good
thinks
for
he's got a
you. I like to play basketball too. So cute. So my grandchildren are still sleeping downstairs, or they'd be up watching you too.
I'm the only one in this meeting without kids. And
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so my idea, Lisa, is there some way when you get those hot ideas to work with Darren and include them in our emails? And
Darren can't see the screen, you know, because is Darren still there by phone?
Are you still there, Darren?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Okay.
In the vehicle.
Okay, so the survey, which I haven't looked at the responses yet, but I put it on our Facebook page and stuff, but I just put the link to it in these notes I'm taking. So maybe Darren can send out that survey, the hot topics to teachers, what's most important, and send it to all the contacts in constant contact.
Well, that would be good for this next email. So now, Darren, which 2 days have you decided works best for the emails? Thursday and what?
I'm singing Sunday and Wednesday.
Sunday, okay, so tonight, so maybe Lisa can send you that stuff today. And you guys can have your own talks about that, you know. I mean, that you're taking over that campaign. And then, okay, so this is good. All right. Okay, business cards. That's really easy. You can go on to Vistaprint. Actually, Darren, do you want to do that? And then we need to have minimum information on that. Put the CT logo consultants, what our actual logo is.
You have a copy of what you sent itself, so we can just copy your card.
Yeah. Well, I haven't even created a card. So this is a good time to do it for all 4 of us.
Okay.
And so what
And Darren, do you have my contact information? This is Lisa.
And Darren, do you have Lisette's contact info?
You better send him exactly what you want, both of you.
Okay, I'll send you an email, Darren.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Darren's going to make the cards.
Like, do you want Lizette V. Wilson on your card or Lizette Wilson? That kind of stuff. So it's very specific. What do you want?
Darren info.
V.
Okay. And then what does V stand for?
Vietnamese. I love it.
Yeah, always. I think it's always good to retain your personal identity, because I'm artist U Reverman, and the U stands for Urbicite, because it's kind of like it seems so dumb to lose your entire identity when you say I do. You know, I do disappear. I do become submissive. I do hide behind my burqa. You know, forget it.
Personally, I was
what about you, Lisa? Is your middle initial is A, but that's Lisa Ann.
Artie, personally, 30 years ago, I was very happy to chuck my maiden name. I told you about my father.
Yeah. But it doesn't have anything to do with your father. It has to do with you.
I've happily been Lisa A. Rodriguez for 30 years.
All right, well, leave it that way. Okay, so what was your maiden name?
Teel, T-E-E-L.
Okay, doesn't matter.
And you know, you're right.
Okay.
I mean, I worked on Ancestry. I've researched Ancestry, and I am interested in it. I was happy to chuck the Teel for Rodriguez.
Okay. All right, let's finish. So put it under not urgent and important, interplay.
What's interplay?
It's whatever we're going to decide to do that's interactive.
Okay.
And I don't know what we call it, but I'm just thinking that.
Like the blog?
What about Friday hangouts, like right after school?
Okay.
You know, I think since you already know that, how many people can you invite to a hangout?
I think it's unlimited.
Well, I think well, look at that Alex Mandrosian. He does kind of the best model. And then that way you and I and Lisette can kind of figure out how we want to actually produce information.
Okay.
I'll resend his last one, but if you set up a hangout time, he does like typically Fridays, which
Okay.
is probably good because people are relaxed and looking forward to the weekend, and they might have questions about the courses.
Mhm.
And so I think that the things that we have really solid is, one, we've got a good platform. Two, we've got a good relationship with PSU for accreditation. Three, we've got fabulous new instructors. And so what is your topic, Lisette, on literacy?
The first one I have is fluency, and I was thinking it'd be a one credit course, and so I've already started. Lisa helped me, and she let me see her first proposal, so I'm kind of using that, but I was stuck with the that portion that has to do with the assignment, and I think Lisa, you cleared that up a little bit for me too, as to what the students' responsibilities would be.
Right. So we'll make self-grading quizzes.
So it's a 3-chapter thing. It's like, well, what is fluency and the 6 dimensions of fluency, and really exploring what all those pieces are. The second one is monitoring, and how to monitor, how to do it in an authentic way, and then giving students descriptive feedback. And the third part is, so how do I teach to those now?
Okay.
And so those are the
see, I think that's a very good practical one. So what are we going to call it?
Right now
literacy fluency?
Oh, it's called Aiding Comprehension, but I'm not necessarily sold on the title of it.
Well, that could be a subtitle. That could be a subtitle, but your title needs to have a hot response, because people respond to the title.
Okay.
They go, oh, yeah. And here's one thing that helps you. When you're going through the checkout stand at the grocery store, look at the Inquirer and all that stuff, and how they use hot words for you to that plug your curiosity. I mean, that's just human nature, and we're all looking for something that we're curious about. So what we want to do is attract their attention. The second thing is we want to deliver what they need.
Mm-hmm.
And what they're out there kind of like. There's so many unknowns today now, with everything changing, and now this huge disruption in terms of the country. I mean, these kids are so stupid down there. Yeah, inspiring literacy. That's good. That's good. I don't like to use ing words, and I don't like to use them in the text. I think what you're trying to use is like inspired literacy.
Okay.
And yeah, so stuff like that.
Remember, Artie, I'm working on my third proposal, and its basis is conscious discipline, but I was working on it last night. I don't want to use the words conscious discipline, and I don't want to limit it to just that. I want to make it something new, and so I wanted to integrate my knowledge of Fred Jones' instructional positive discipline and positive instruction. So I came up with this name, which is completely unique. Do you like that?
And they want that. I think that's good. Now, the important thing is, now they don't know what that means, but kindred's a nice friendly word, and classrooms is what they're doing every day. So your subtitle is really important to state specifically what they're going to get from it.
I think I did I was working on it last night. I think I did put something.
So you could put something like conscious discipline, what works with conscious discipline, or something like that. What works? You know, easy, practical steps to what works.
There, look it. There.
I mean, when you're a teacher, what do you respond to? You respond to something that's going to get you credits, get your pay scale, and also give you information. And the main complaint I've always heard about Concordia and these other things is they have to do all this redundant assignments. Why do we want to do that? We don't really want to be known as people that are kind of in the old-timey thing of just creating papers that then get stored, that have no, see, that's static. And I think with interplay, we also want, and you could use the word interplay if you want, you know, kindred interplay Well, but use that as a working title, right? A family model of classroom
Yeah,
management.
that's what I had come up with last night.
Oh, nice.
Well, maybe a conscious model of classroom discipline. So if you used a conscious, you're understanding there's
I wanted to avoid the word discipline. What do you think? I mean, I'm going to use conscious discipline, but I like the word.
But I don't know what that means, a family model of classroom management. I think family then, I don't get that that's going to serve, like, what do you do in your conferences? What are the words that connote an effective conference with? Because what you're trying to do is have this representative of how a teacher deals with parents.
Oh, no, it's like with conscious discipline, it's all about building a class family, a school family.
Okay, now why don't you write that? Build a school family.
Okay, all right.
Doesn't that make more sense?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
I mean, now I know that it's about the school, and I know family means connection.
Yeah, exactly.
How about connecting the school family?
Okay.
And then or just no ings, just connect the school family.
Okay.
Or practical way.
How about connected? How about what you said before, like ED, connected school families?
Yeah.
That?
Okay, now you can go build connected school families.
Okay.
Or steps to build connected school families. Because everybody wants those OWL steps.
Yes.
Okay. What do you think, Lizette?
I think it's great.
I mean, does that respond to your gut that you're reading that and you go, oh yeah, I want that. I want steps. I want to build connections.
Like
everything's crazy. So what do I do?
That steps thing really resonates with me, but I think teachers that are going through teaching, I think they see that would be as a practical thing as opposed to simple theory.
Right. Something they can use.
Yeah, something they can use and do like tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's what they always want. Steps to build connected school families tomorrow.
Do you want
or
tomorrow?
Today? Do you want today? Do they want immediacy?
I don't think so. I think she just means that it's something that's immediately relevant to them.
No, I know. I always hear that, what to do Monday morning. And that's probably what you ought to do in terms of your assignment. So the assignments are very specific to the course on asking them specifically how they're applying whatever specific information. What we've got to, I'm kind of a big picture and intuitive thinker, and that kind of got me motivated. But I think our shift here is being practically relevant, because a lot of teachers like Lisette or S's, they want more sensory, hands-on immediacy. Right, Lisa?
Yeah, and that's why
you and I can go out in the big picture weeds forever and be thrilled. That will frustrate all the owls that are in the classroom.
That's why I agree with you as far as not having big theoretical papers. I like the idea of the projects that they do. Like you said, take advantage of today's technology and have them create presentations that they would actually use either with their students or with their school staff to present.
Yeah, and what we do is package it so all they have to do is download those presentations, then you and Lizette and I are not reinventing the wheel. That we're actually creating product that has an interplay aspect to it, which means, and we probably ought to make up a sentence on that goes on the emails that assures teachers this isn't just writing static assignments. This is something they can actually create and use Monday morning in the classroom. So write that down.
Creating presentations, tools, etc. immediately
Useful Monday morning or, yeah.
in your classroom.
I have
Yeah.
a question. And
Yeah.
what you just said kind of made me wonder and think about something. So I like what I hear about building all this. One thing I'm wondering too is, what's practical? What could I use? What could I take Monday morning? And I wonder for like some of the third chapter of my of my class is going to be like, so how then do we can we teach these different dimensions of fluency to students? And I wonder if part of their final assignment could be to like upload a lesson plan or a something so that we have a library that they can go then and see other people's things that they've uploaded, and they can like
See, I think that's
grab
really
up-
great because that's what we need on the Interplay resources. Because right now they're resources, but it's static, which means, yeah, it's sitting there on the platform, but there's no way they're directed how to use them. So that's what I'm saying. You and Lizette, if you could go through the website and look at all the resources there and how we can repackage those actually on the website.
Okay.
Now, you were asking about payment, and we'll get real clear with that. I sent you a contract, Lisa,
Yes.
and then that will start January 1st, and all this work is kind of your Mexico vacation, so that you feel like you're getting something out of this planning. But in January, what we can do is, hopefully what we will do is expand our base. That's really going to drive this business. And at that point, what we'll do is you'll have a flat fee salary and then some kind of a bonus based on how we create what we're expanding.
Okay.
Is that okay with you? And I can't be specific because we're still in the urgent and important phase.
Right.
So what's not urgent and important is to project those kinds of benefits for you.
Yeah, my questions as far as being paid or instructing was more for Lisette and I to know, and now I think we both understand how to create the courses, because I'm used to creating courses where I'm interacting the whole time intensively, and now I realize, no, this needs to be fairly automated. So that's
well,
why,
it's going to be, because you don't want to be doing this all week long.
exactly.
What we want,
Especially
see,
not
it's like this. Once you build the courses and they're up there, you will have to go in and look at the assignments as they come in. And Darren, that's a pretty easy process for her to do that, right?
Yeah.
You can just go and check your courses and Darren will check all the others.
Okay.
But Lizette, you'd be checking your own course and responding to each of those students.
But we're not
So-
grading, are we? I mean, like, it's
No,
okay, but we're not like scoring and grading and
no, everybody always gets an A. That's the reality, because it's pretty easy to go through this process.
Okay.
And, I just think that that's fine. Yeah, there is grading on the quizzes. And,
Right,
if they answer the assignment to your satisfaction, they should get an A. We're not fooling around with playing cop. I guess that's my issue.
okay.
What we're doing is we're trying to create a product that is relevant, that's intelligent, that doesn't have that old hangover from, you got to get a grade. They're going to get an A unless they're just disastrous.
Yes.
And at that point, we now finally have some checks and balances, because there are a couple of people that were slackers that never paid, that got their money from the district, and that was my fault, because the coach told me that he was going to finish everything over the holidays and had all these reasons, the urgent, important reasons like babies being born and blah, 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 and then he just totally, was a slacker. So to avoid any of those things, we don't give out grades until the coursework is completed. And the way we accomplish that is they have wiggle room. If a grade is going to be posted December 14th and they have not completed their assignment, then they are just given an M, so that immediately, then when they finish the assignment, you can go in, or Darren can go in we'll figure that what's easiest to do. Probably Darren can do that. As soon as they finish it, then we go in and change it to an A.
Okay.
So that's the way. And I hope you feel that that's ethical.
Sure.
Lizette, do you?
I
I
understand.
think it's great.
Yeah.
Because I just think that whole old idea of A through F is so, it's so part of a very old model. What we really want is we want them to be involved in the course in a way that they're actually using it in their classroom. So the interplay, the assignments need to be addressed to how they're going to actually use it in their classroom. And they can also say, no, this is stupid. And then we can change the course content.
Okay.
Because I think for me, I've never done this to just make money. I've done this because I was so frustrated with my own children's schooling, not Peter, who fit the whole system, but the other two, who one has really been affected by it. And what I find is a lot of these kids are the ones that voted for Trump. They're uneducated, they don't want to admit it, but then he spoke to their anger. And there you've got it. You got 50% of the country that went through school with no skills, and they're still hiding that. So his big, brash confidence grabbed their ego. And they said, yeah, I want some of that. He's going to make me rich. And he's just the biggest P.T. Barnum that's ever been on the stage. It's just a big reality show. And they all drank the Kool-Aid. But, now we're just going to have to deal with the results of that. I mean, it's really pretty scary because Iran, Russia, and China are thrilled.
Yes.
Because
and Syria.
Yes.
Thrilled too.
Is Syria
Yeah,
real?
because it demonstrates that democracy doesn't work. The protesters are in the streets. The disruption has gone on. They didn't listen to the good voice. They listened to the evil voice. Ridiculous. So all I'm saying to you is my personal mission is that what we do is we provide really important things that we would want for our own kids. And I think that's always our measure. We keep Mateo, Diego, and what are your kids' names, Lisa?
David, Daniel, and Brittany.
Okay, and so, and I have my three, Alex, Liza, and Peter. And you have to recognize that there are a lot of different perspectives with these kids. And just like the country voting, that has to be at some point respected, at least being practical and recognizing that fundamentally there aren't a lot of dendrites in those brains. And how did that happen? They're born, everybody, well, lots of reasons. They're handed to idiots for one thing. I mean, I worked at Boys and Girls Aid for 2 years, and the smartest girls gave their babies up for adoption, and the others came back into the system after being not rocked, not nurtured, the mom smoking dope, screwing the boyfriend, just the basest of circumstances. It made me cry reading the case histories. Yeah. And I go home and look at my own kids and say, for the grace of God, you do not understand, what you won the birth lottery by being handed to parents that nurture and care for you. And also by being born in America. So now we see all this happening and, all of it. So all we're going to do is we know that's the big picture that drives us, but to pull it down, what are we going to do specifically? We're going to be really practical. And we're not going to get into any of those conversations about blah, 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 Hillary, Trump. We're just going to go, what works for kids? What works for teachers? Let's deliver it. So that's the end of that. And each of you, if you could respond to that from your own heart, I would like to hear that.
Right now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, what you were saying, the thing is that that's kind of like the basis of the course that I'm writing, is that you're right. A lot of children are born into really bad situations, but they're all our kids that are in the schools. They're our babies once they come into our classrooms, and we can be a second chance for them. And so sometimes we get them when they're older, 4th, 5th grade, and they've maybe become jaded and calloused by then. But I truly believe that there's still a chance for them to develop into, good, whole human beings who care about each other and other human beings, and we can help them. We can be the refuge for them. Since I started teaching, there's always been kids that I wanted to just adopt and take home, and I've always been told by my family, Lisa, you can't save the world. And I'm like, no, I can't save the world, but I can save a little corner of it, and I know that most teachers, lots of teachers feel that way.
Well, I'm glad you're recording all this, because all of that, what you said, would be really helpful in doing our interplay piece too, because I like the idea of second chance. That's basically what I discovered for myself is, my own kids' frustration motivated me. But the second thing was that then I saw the faces of all children in my children's, and I still do.
Yeah.
Every little child, and you can see this in the Syria bombings, the little boys out there, throwing balls in the street as soon as the bombing is, suspended. They go back to natural nature. They don't have any idea, and neither do the soldiers, of what men are pulling the strings of their bodies being there fighting for what? Yeah. It's a model that's so inappropriate. So we won't get into that ideology, but you just know that we want to do the S. We want to do the practical thing, but we also want to have the N part of our vision. Now, how about you, Lisa?
Set. I already spoke.
Lisa.
I think I definitely agree with Lisa, and I think that's part of the reason that I'm sure both of us are still in Woodburn. There's so much poverty. There's so much, immigrants and kids who are like our kids on Wednesday were afraid. Our kids were afraid, and they were in tears, and said parents were in tears, and just, I feel like I'm there to provide a safe place. I'm there to give them a second chance. And I always try to find those kids and connect with those kids. Those kids are always in the office or who are always, around. I always try to connect with those kiddos and know, so that they know, I care about you, and I'm here to support you. I'm on your side. And, some kids feel like nobody's on their side. So I feel like that's my goal, to make them feel cared for, because I know a lot of maybe our kids, they don't feel that way outside of school. And sometimes, if they're what we call frequent flyers that are always in the office, they don't feel cared for by too many people. So I really try to always take notice of who's always there, and to try to connect with those kids, and all kids too, but especially those kiddos who are always there.
Yeah.
So, well, I think, I think that what you're saying is so correct, because that's what we want. We want a platform of empathy, but the reason a lot of people can't do this, they don't start with the framework that there are a lot of different perspectives. So you go back to Synergy Pals. Were you two able to do that little quiz on the website?
I can find the quiz.
Okay, on the front. Darren, where is the quiz? Where's the quiz? Did you find it, Lisa?
No, which website? All we saw was the video.
The main website, the CT Courses website. Oh. If you scroll down.
Okay.
See, where is it, Darren?
If you scroll down.
Scroll down. See, it's kind of hidden. I think that what we have to do is look at the website and figure out how maybe some of those things need to be addressed.
Are you doing the same quiz that's in Creative Brain Chapter 1?
Yeah.
And I did do that. Yep, it's the same quiz. Okay.
And so what did you find your results to be?
I copied and pasted them. I know that I'm very talky feely. Let me find them, because I know I copied my results. You want Lisette to do it right now? Because I've got the here. Lisette, I'm gonna,
if you can.
Look it. Yeah. There. I just put the link to the quiz. And it's real.
All right.
in and entered into one of the courses yet?
No, I haven't. I tried calling. I finally got a hold of somebody from that phone number, and then they said they were going to transfer me. Then they hung up. So then I used that phone number that you gave me, and I think I called at lunch. So they might have been at lunch, and I tried calling yesterday, but I wonder if the person's contact information that I have might have not been there yesterday. So I'm going to try again. Lisa kind of did a screen.
You
A
can,
screen share,
Darren,
so I
you
was able to
can't
go through
access her without her having her PSU ID number.
You know, I thought you would be able to just put in all nines and it would go through. But that may not be the case.
And my husband
Well,
went
wait a minute. What do we do, Darren, though, if somebody wants to take it pro bono without PSU credit? I thought there was that feature.
Right, that's what I thought the all nines did. I'll have to double check.
Okay, Monday morning he'll figure that out, because we need to know that in case what we do is we package it for a different audience and they don't want accreditation and we offer a different price. You see, like if we go into homeschooling or we go into, there's a lot of different markets. All I'm trying to do at this point is get our courses updated, get our team settled, and then see if I can find it's been really hard for me to find a marketing person, partly because I don't really know a huge marketing thing. If you can ask your husband, Lisette.
okay.
I don't mind, you know, there was just this segment on Business News about startup, this VA legal firm in Manhattan that are helping vets do startups with business plans and to navigate the unknowns with technology, skills, and capabilities. And see, that's what I need to find, is who could really actually knows. The education market is huge. And I just have a sliver of an idea of how to approach it. You know, so what I want to do is let's just make sure that our content is really quality, and I feel like that we're there 1,000%. Now it's really a packaging issue. And I do know somebody that I think I'm going to call today that's been in this for a long time that might be able to help me. So don't you worry about that. Put that on the not urgent and important for Artie promotion marketing projection. And then Darren on there for data recovery. And then who's doing the cards, Darren?
Yeah, that's what we had said.
Yeah. So how many cards do we want to get?
Probably 1,000 each.
Because you want to hand them out, you know, like they always tell realtors, always have cards in your pocket.
Yeah.
And you find out that you're actually the messenger. So I think in terms of the Hangouts, Lisa, that's going to be your not urgent and important thing to explore. How do we, what are other people doing? I mean, we don't need to just reinvent the wheel. What we want to see is what's effective. What does Khan Academy do? Go to the big boys.
Okay.
You know, maybe look at Melinda Gates Foundation.
I have an idea or a comment question, and I want to bounce it off Lisette too, because as teachers teaching full time, my personal thought is I think if we make a regular weekly hangout, I think Thursday would be a better day. I think Friday, everybody is like, I'm done, and we want to just be with
Fine. You're right. And Thursday's always a good day to call if you're making a pitch or a proposal, because exactly for the reasons that you said, that Friday people are already out of the office. They're on to the weekend. They have a relief. Thursday, they're still invested. They got one more day, but most of the week's behind them. So that's good. Let's just do Thursday.
Okay. Sounds
And
good.
I have no idea what time teachers will actually, can they do it at 3 when the kids leave?
Now, at 4 o'clock would probably be best.
All right, 4 o'clock. And so once we set that up, so like I'm sending you emails on how other people set this up, like the Shift Network. They're probably the biggest in the consciousness raising, and they've created really good models. And I do have some of the business plans because I paid that Stephen Denon to do a big consult for me. And so what I did get from that was useful were a lot of job descriptions of tasks. We're just not there yet, but I think with the internet, I've got to talk to somebody, and maybe Lisa, I do that with you, where we can just take what we have. The platform works fine, the course builder works fine, so we've got the skeleton, but we don't have the promotional things worked out. And even though I changed the whole Friendly Universe brand to CT Consultants for academic reasons, we still have Friendly Universe and Synergy Pals as domains. So whether we want to expand those if we go into other markets. So what I'm looking at is the two of you and Darren being involved in expansion, and we'll just take it a step at a time. Just like, you can't do it in a minute, but you can if you have a business plan that's actually been looked at.
Oh, you can't see my notes. I forgot.
Was that next time? We need to have a lunch sometime when you two are free, or Darren is free, and then I'll bring you your necklace and your books and your puppets and stuff. And whenever you want to do that's fine with me. We could do it next week. Oh no, I'm going to Bend, so I'm not going to be around. After Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
We'll have to do it the week after Thanksgiving. Let's set a lunch date.
So like December 3rd?
Well, I'm looking at my calendar right now. So Thanksgiving is what, on the 24th?
Uh-huh.
And so maybe that next week.
So how about December 3rd?
That's a Saturday.
Is that Diego's birthday?
December 3rd? No,
Yeah.
it's the 14th.
Okay, good.
Let's do the 3rd. That's perfect. So let's set that up, and you come to my house. It's easier if we meet here because then we can spread out stuff and, everything. So
I posted my results of my Synergy score.
yeah, what is it?
Look in the chat. If you don't have it open, click on that blue chat button on the left-hand side, and then you'll see my scores.
Okay. You mean the question and answer blue button or the one?
Go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, look at that. Thinking, talking. There's our chimp.
Blah, blah, blah.
Feeling. Okay. So you're a big chimp. We know that already.
Yes.
Now remember, these domains, you can start like with the looking. You can start that one at basic math, but then you go, depending on the fundamental level that people have processed in their brain, you go up to quantum physics. And you begin to see you have this tiny little edge of people that absolutely understand the mechanics of the universe. Quantum physics,
Not me. What are you, Artie? Are you a chimp too?
I have a higher score in looking, which is fine, because that's why I'm projecting the future. And yeah, talking is important to me too. So I'm kind of split between those two, but I like the fact that you have a high score in thinking, because that means you really love setting out these steps and making them understandable.
I do.
And I like the idea that you have that feeling quotient, because last night it was really interesting. My little granddaughter, Ella, who's 12, and they were just exhausted. And frankly, it took us 2 hours to get to it took me 2 hours to get to the airport. It was bumper to bumper. I'm not sure if the protest had something to do with it.
No.
But coming back, I had to go through Gladstone. I had to get off the freeway, and because it was the congestion. I've never seen anything like it. Bumper to bumper, crawl. I don't know if Darren experienced that, but just I-84 is beginning to give me a phobia.
Where do you,
So,
does Ellen-
how about, would you rather come earlier on Saturday, like brunch, so we don't just chop up the whole day? Like if you came at 10?
it's up to Lisette. She's got the kids to work around.
Well, that's what I would.
Speaking of that,
Lisa is a big chimp.
I want to know what Lisette is. I bet she's a koala.
December 3rd. Sorry.
Yeah.
December 3rd.
Is that all right for you?
Yeah, and yeah.
What about, Lizette, what about coming earlier so you have the afternoon with your kids? If you came at, you and Lisa came at 10 and Darren, then we have a couple of hours to bang out stuff and you can be out of here by noon.
Yep, that sounds good.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it earlier, just because if we do it at lunch, it chops right in the middle of the day, and then we might as well get up and get to it.
Yeah, I like
We
that.
could even do it at 9:30 if you want.
That's for you, Lisette.
It's up to Lizette.
Yeah.
You want 9:30 or 10?
Think about the boys' normal routine. What's easiest for you?
Either way is easiest for me. It's about talking to Jeremy about.
Okay, let's do 9:30 and then just explain to Jerry it's your job. Okay, so good. Let's just do that. 9:30 is good.
9:30, December 3rd.
And then by that time, hopefully the marketing thing will be kind of worked out.
Thanks.
And is there any way that either of you have access to any lists that we can use? School counselors, psychologists?
That's what I wanted to say. I think that, and I already sent that list to Darren with the OBOB list I had, but I think there should be a push, not just to teachers, but also school counselors and psychologists and special ed, because of the puppets and because of the whole brain learning and just all the stuff that's in the friendly universe that relates to this also. It's a whole another group of people that we could pursue. In fact, maybe we could, like, on the Facebook page where I've been inviting academic things, I think I'll go in and look for more psychological, more like special ed and school counselors. There's probably a whole database of school counselors.
Okay. Any help that you can give with that? And see, then when we do that, if we pitched the Hangout, and then is there a way that you and I can be on the screen together on the Hangout in separate places, Lisa?
Well, just like we are right now. If we had a
Yeah.
Hangout with a bunch of people, the more
Yeah.
people we have, they just go across the bottom of the screen. And notice that whoever talks, that's what the big screen changes to automatically.
Okay, so I think if what we do is we have that first plan with Lizette, Lisa, and me, and then what we'll do is we'll find the flow and we'll try and put together questions that are specific to what's happening right now. What's the hot topic that they want? We've got to stay on hot topics, not
How about a hot
that.
topic dealing with kids, dealing with immigrant kids or kids whose parents are not legal, dealing with the fear and anxiety.
Perfect. That can be our first thing. That's perfect. That's perfect. And then if you would go on Khan Academy and look at the way that they do some of those little video clips, I don't know if it's possible for us to do that. Lisa, I just have to totally depend on your tech capabilities there. Okay. So, yeah, I think that that's right. What we'll do is we'll put together topics like that. God almighty, that's what's happening downtown. Isn't that a waste of energy, smashing stuff?
Yeah.
How about like doing it with constructive information?
Yeah.
Helpful information.
Yeah.
And of course, when I say something like constructive and then the follow-up with helpful, it's like really important to always think of nickel words instead of pretentious words. because nobody gets pretentious words. I mean, we don't have the awareness level built up, and people will respond. That's why they responded to Trump. Do you notice if you went back on his dialogue, yeah, he uses nickel words. He's a master at that. He's done a lot of celebrity shows.
I heard his ghostwriter, the one who wrote his book, The Art of the Deal, he said that Trump has a 200-word vocabulary.
Yeah, exactly. So what we want to do is capture those 200 words, but not the insulting ones.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you can watch the topics that are important on book notes, I find that on the weekends. Do you get that on, I think it's CNN? What is the C-SPAN? C-SPAN.
Okay.
C-SPAN. That's a really helpful, because it's kind of like Cliff's Notes for chimps, literally. And because it's auditory, you listen to the author, they're usually going to hit the salient points of whatever the issues are. Like there's one that's talking about women, blah, blah, blah. And what I do is just go up there and look at what's happening on the weekend, and then just record them so I can watch them at night or whenever I'm, focusing on them.
It's not about a book. It's about issues.
Yeah. Well, it's usually a new author and it's non-fiction books. So they've made deep dives on a specific study, like financial stuff and all of that. Okay. And then regarding the financial course, I don't even think Jennifer ever wrote the text for it.
Oh.
I think because I sent her an email and I left a phone message for her to see, because I don't remember, that was last year, and in the course of the year between moving and all that stuff, I just forgot the details. So I'll follow up with her, and if she hasn't written it, I'm not going to have her write it.
Okay.
I'm going to write it with you, Lisa, and then what we'll do is we'll stick to the points of what teachers need to know. Right. That's practical about the history of money, why they need to know about it. Because I really don't think that they're very informed about their own finance. That's why I love that book, Your Money or Your Life. And if you'd go on Amazon, write that down, Your Money or Your Life. And it's Vicky, God, where's the book?
Well, here
It'll come up with that title. And just buy it used book. They're like $3 or $2 or something. But and Lisa, you get that too. It's really the best thing I've read, because what it does is it really creates a totally new paradigm, which is crossover. So the first part of your life, the biggest high you have is like getting your first house and all of that, how exciting. So then as you get, you have more and more events, then you get to the top of the paradigm, and like Onassis had to marry Jackie O to get even a little hit from buying his first oil tanker. And at that point, you really don't need to make money because you've been released from that. So now you do what I'm doing, which is you move to what is your purpose in being alive? And that's going to keep your brain engaged and alive. And that's the real reason. And so we really go off track with people like Trump. It's not about money for self, for building Trump towers and licensing your name. It's money to create value. And money is just a measure of value. Write that down. Money is a measure of value. So Trump's values I do not share his values. And it's a totally different way to look at the world. And it's not wrong and it's not right. It's just neutral. But I think that we've really shifted away with Hillary's message to recognize what a miracle it is to have won the birth lottery, to live here. And the more educated you become, is realize the satisfaction is really in giving back your own talent. Like when you're writing the course, Lizette, that is your talent. You have studied hard to understand literacy. Literacy is the foundation of our learning. We go back to the printing press, so include that stuff. What a big difference that made, because up to that time, the only people that could read were monks, with their beautiful calligraphy. And then that opened a whole revolution in the world, because people began to go, oh, I don't want some guy in Rome in control of my body, or my thinking. So all of the philosophers, Descartes and all of Kant, all of that began evolving critical thinking. So, I mean, that's big picture stuff, but at the base of it is you with the skills that give people the root of what brings knowledge. So we do need to read, even if it's Twitter,
Oh,
So our communication now is kind of like interesting because our people aren't taking a deep dive. Remember when people wrote thank you notes and how great it was to see well, we're going to do that. We will, I've got a lot of cards here and stuff, and so I'll give you a stack of things that what we do is we're just going to send personal thank you notes when we have help with things. Because people still want the civility of that. It feels good.
yeah.
Handwriting, calligraphy, anything that connotes that, hey, we're just moms like you are.
It's the taking
Yeah.
time.
Darren is a wonderful father, incidentally. He has a wonderful son that just left the Marines. And what that was good was that Cameron did struggle in high school, and Darren would get him up, feed him breakfast, get him to school, got him through a GED. And then when he went in the service, he got what we need, which is discipline and structure. And now that kid is so set for life.
Awesome.
And Darren did it all by himself because he had kind of a nightmare ex-wife that's been on drugs and blah, blah, blah. So sometimes you just take that, what you've been given like a child, and do the best that you can. It may not be the best that's available, but that's what we're always going to be seeking, is what's the next best thing that's available. And it isn't always more technology. It may be just coming back to civility and being a representative of that. So the whole concept of the Synergy Pals is not that you're one or the other, it's that you favor certain biases, and so that changes it's like there's 7.5 billion people in the world and they all have a unique brain. Is that just too amazing? So instead of fighting each other, we do want to find the common ground, and that word has been used a lot lately, so it's part of the national psyche. And I think that's what will come out of this disruption and polarization, is recognizing our survival exists in finding common ground, whether it's in our families at Thanksgiving, and needing to say the things that are helpful, not hurtful. That's the end of that Synergy Pals thing. But there is no synergy without using all those domains.
Yeah. And it reminds me of multiple intelligences.
Well, it is.
You're not one or the other. You're a combination in different levels.
Always. And so you can use all of your backgrounds. Since Hippocrates, there have been many, many attempts at understanding human thinking and categorizing and blah, 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 and numerology and this and that and collective. The basic thing is, what I felt was the simplest thing was just to bring it down to the simplest model, which is the senses: think, look, talk, and feel. Stay out of the religious domains. That's just going to bring up limited thinking. People don't even understand they have beliefs that are limiting them. They do not. They get that they have been born into a certain situation and it's my way or the highway and I have a corner in the market. And yet you can see that the big disruption with technology is you go, hey, that woman holding her child in Syria is just like me, and you cry. You cry for them.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is we have one human face. And up until now, the patriarchal has ruled. Now, they are really dying hard. The white male patriarchy is having a hard time accepting the fact that they've got a stab in their heart. They are gasping and crawling and just keeping on going. And so what we do is just know that this will eventually move into a totally different place. Now, we may not be there, but let's be that one tiny little grain of sand that recognizes that and work for that mission. Now that's my belief, and I'm not sure it's yours, but you can add to that.
That kind of goes back with my little, I can't save the world, but I can save a little piece of it.
Exactly. So write that down. That's a good thing.
And I think too, what people forget is that we're all connected. If people would realize that we're all connected and we're all brothers, that
Yeah.
people would see each other as people and not as,
That's why I'm not very patriotic, because I feel like, why do we have to pick teams? Why is it like, well, I'm American. Why can't the team be the human race? And, and then,
It will be. It is. That's the bigger global picture. The point is that people are going to go, we all do it. We go into survival mode when we feel threatened, and we go into our least developed, we go into our most, see, you'll go into talking, Lisa, when you're upset, and what happens is you're disappointed that people can't hear the same voices you hear on the satellite dish that you wear. And so, they're tuning in, but they don't get that channel. They don't have the ability to see, go to Europe, go anywhere. In every single square, there's the martyr. There's the person that had the voice ahead of the time that they couldn't hear. The witches in Salem. We don't call girls witches anymore, because they don't fit a certain patriarchal model. Well, I guess we do, burqas and all that kind of stuff. But, what I'm saying is it will take leaps, like the smartphone took a huge leap in consciousness and created a device that is very useful for all of us. But how about garbage in, garbage out? If we're not putting into this internet experience the full spectrum of all of our combined strengths, Lisette, Lisa, Darren, me, that's a pretty fun little team. And then we can go out and find suppliers that will support this. And I think if Synergy Pals is successful and we move forward, then what we'll do is we'll create a profit sharing plan in the future, but we're not there yet. So at this point, I just want to be fair with you for, a value received for the actual energy that you're putting in, and then that will be leading us to the next step. And I just feel like with the two of you working together, that gives you the camaraderie that you need too.
We've got good camaraderie already.
It's perfect. It's just so perfect. So this will be fun. I think the Hangouts will prove to be fun, and then we have to figure out how do we direct the email to get the people to come in. So I'll send you Alex Mendocian's email to both of you, and Darren too. And then he hates him because he can't get off his email list. But that's okay. He's just a very persistent marketer, and we want to find somebody that's a really aggressive marketer.
Here's something I want to just recommend maybe, and that is